Invincible was one of the most anticipated animated series in 2021. Not only did this TV series introduce a lot of people to the Invincible comic series, but it also introduced fans to several interesting superheroes in the universe. One of the most interesting characters in the series is Black Samson. He is one of the superheroes who decided to stay super even though he did not have powers at one point. So what made Black Samson the way he is, and does he ever get his power back? Let's find out together. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
Cecil got an anonymous call.
Black Samson's grand entrance in a clash with Throwbolt. Marcus Grimshaw, better known as Black Samson, makes his first appearance in the series after the most crucial plot point has occurred. For people who have seen the series, you already know this, and for those who have not, sorry, but spoiler alert. The Guardians of the Globe are dead. The Guardians of the Globe are like the Justice League's collection of superheroes in this universe who are responsible for keeping the Earth safe. The members of this group were the Immortal, Darkwing, War Woman, Green Ghost, Red Rush, Aquarius, Martian Man, and Black Samson. Now, Black Samson was one of the founding members of the Guardians of the Globe. However, when he lost his powers, he left the roster. Eventually, when the Guardians were all killed off by you-know-who, a new roster was decided to be formed. Several heroes showed up to audition for this roster. Robot, the one who was put in charge of this new roster, asked Invincible, our teen superhero, to audition as well, but Invincible refused owing to his father, Omni-Man's wish to train him personally. With that answer, the robot started the trials for the superheroes who were interested in the roster. Now, as we have mentioned a while back, Black Samson had lost his powers, so he was simply a human, a normal guy like you and I. But with his technologically advanced suit, he showed up for this new roster because he felt his sense of duty towards the people and organization as a whole. The person he goes up against for his trial is Throwbolt. Throwbolt is a young female superhero who uses electricity as her main weapon. We see her use her electric bolts to take down Black Samson very skillfully. You see, the suit that Samson had come equipped with jetpacks, which allowed Samson to fly around. However, that was easily stopped by our lovely Throwbolt. This made Samson fall out of the air and get into hand-to-hand combat with Throwbolt. Now, one of his skills is hand-to-hand combat, and without a shred of doubt, in what seems to be barely a minute, Samson is able to knock Throwbolt out. However, despite this easy victory, we do not see Samson cheering or doing a victory dance or anything of sorts. Instead, he reaches out to Throwbolt and helps her back on her feet. This act of compassion and humbleness shows what type of person Black Samson truly is. Because of this, when Robot chooses Black Samson, it is not a surprise at all. The new roster is soon declared, and along with Black Samson, the new members are Duplicate, Rex, Monster Girl, and Shrinking Ray. Adam Eve is also selected as a member of the new roster, but she refuses to work with Rex, her ex, who cheated on her, and Duplicate, the girl Rex cheated on her with. Owing to all of that, the new roster only has 6 members in total, as opposed to the original roster of 8 members. Soon after the group is declared, Robot arranges for a team meeting. As the one responsible for the team, we get to see Robot take proactive steps in making sure the team is functional. But as most team meetings go, different members have different opinions. However, in this scene, we understand more about Black Samson and his character. As Rex complains about the early hours of training and claims that they do not even need training, Black Samson mentions how the experience he would get from the training is something that he needs. This obviously puts Rex and Black Samson on the bad foot. However, it is clear from this conversation that Black Samson really values experience. It is a place of pride for him that he used to be a part of the original roster, even though he is no longer that owing to his lack of power. You also understand that the more undisciplined one's words are, the more irritated Black Samson gets with them. Rex is not the most disciplined guy out there, and Black Samson does not even try to hide his disdain for this young superhero. But he is not the only one whom Black Samson does not like. He also does not seem to like Robot as much. In his eyes, the leader of the group needs to be someone who is not made out of binary, which is so not true once you get to know who Robot truly is. But because Black Samson does not know that, in his eyes, the concept that the team of superheroes would be led by a robot is preposterous, and he makes it very clear. Not so subtly, Black Samson offers himself to be a leader. By this, we can clearly understand that as the most experienced member of the team, albeit without power somewhere, Black Samson feels like he should be the one to command and control the team, giving us an in-depth view into his personality. However, Black Samson congratulates Robot once he realizes that his team leader would indeed be made out of binary, albeit sarcastically. We see that Black Samson clearly reminisces his past because when the new Guardians are allowed to enter the now clean base of Guardians of the Globe, Black Samson mentions how good it is to be home. This leads to another remark from Rex about how he does not want to hear these things from Black Samson. Overall, the state of the Guardians does not look good. They are a part of a team, but they are not a team. This becomes extremely prevalent when the Guardians have to face off against the Lizard League. Although the group came out victorious, it was evident that the lack of team effort made the fight unnecessarily longer and more dangerous. Everyone except Black Samson and Robot was celebrating, but the celebration only lasted for so long before Black Samson lost his cool and gave the youngins a piece of his mind. He told them how the lack of teamwork is what caused so many people to be hurt and how things could have been better. Black Samson berates each of his team members, pointing out how they could have done better and showing how his experience has truly made him much better at knowing how things should work. Although on the surface, Rex seems to disagree, deep down it is clear from everyone's expression that Black Samson is indeed right. He may not have his powers, but he has a point, and if they keep ignoring it, their victories may not be as frequent. Rising from the ashes, Black Samson's epic power reawakening. Even without his powers, Black Samson is a titular character. His experience and his age made him a refined superhero, and that is something that really plays a huge role in his character. However, in the series, we do get to see him get back his powers. For context, a man named Titan approached Invincible. He wanted help from Invincible to help him get free from the villain known as Machine Head, who was using Titan as a pawn to do his bidding. This is not the life that he wanted, but because he borrowed some money from the Machine Head for his daughter, he was bound to the Machine Head. This led to Invincible deciding to go with Titan to take down Machine Head. Plan, however, fell through immediately because Machine Head knew that Invincible and Titan would be coming. Using his isotope teleporter, Machine Head brought all the supervillains he had hired to fight with them, and soon enough Invincible was getting overwhelmed. Owing to a chip in his head, Machine Head was able to hear that the Guardians would be showing up, and no surprise, the Guardians showed up as Invincible's backup. The fight that follows is extremely brutal. One by one, we see each of the superheroes fail against the supervillains. Black Samson gets knocked against the wall so hard that his suit starts malfunctioning almost immediately. But out of the whole group of heroes, only Black Samson is the one awake who gets to witness what happens after that. Battle Beast, one of the more powerful supervillains of the arsenal, mentions how he thought there would be worthy opponents for him on Earth, and there were none. As he spoke about his disappointment, he took steps towards Invincible and stopped in front of the teen superhero who was barely conscious enough. With his statement finished, Battle Beast struck Invincible right in his stomach, making him go completely unresponsive. Seeing Invincible about to be attacked, Black Samson tries to attack Battle Beast, but his suit malfunctions again. Invincible crumbles to the floor, bleeding with a gaping wound at his stomach. So, Black Samson charges at the Battle Beast after taking off his suit. Even though Robot tells him to retreat, it is too late. Black Samson reaches the Battle Beast, and before he can even lay a punch on the villain, he grabs his hand and simply breaks his wrist. The Battle Beast crushes Black Samson's face against the floor and throws him away almost like a rag doll. With critical wounds such as this one, Black Samson and Invincible are rushed to the ER along with Monster Girl. While at the ER, thanks to his Viltrumite genes, Invincible is up in 6 days, but Black Samson is completely out. While at the ER, Black Samson starts fibrillating, his heartbeat stops, and no matter what, none of the nurses present there could bring him back. Right before all hope was lost, his body started to emit waves of light. This in turn caused surges in energy, and that was when his power came back. Along with his power, his heartbeat came back too. Black Samson claimed that his powers came back because he kept putting up with Rex as a joke, but the true reason for his power return is not known. After his powers came back to him, a certain shift in his personality is noted. It is almost like Black Samson could breathe easily. He was much more lenient towards Rex jokes than he previously used to be. We see Black Samson take an active role in a group too, with him being the one to point out the video where Omni-Man destroyed a satellite. When the fight between Omni-Man and Invincible was being telecasted, it was Black Samson who asked his fellow team members to gear up and leave the bunker. They were not going to go out there to stop the fight because that was definitely out of their capabilities, but they could help the people who were in harm's way thanks to the fight. Even though Rudy, the human version of Robot, refused at first, the whole team joined hands with Black Samson and ventured out of the bunker to do the right thing. This is why when they return to the base and Rex goes up to clean the blood stain of the original roster that Cecile refused to clean until they were a team, Black Samson relented. At first, Black Samson did not want to wipe the blood away because as a veteran hero, he could see that they were not ready like the original roster. However, when the whole group banded together and said how they had earned the right to clean the stain, Black Samson had to accept that as they were a team now, perhaps wiping the blood away would not be a bad idea. And with that, we see the veteran hero finally let go of his past life and begin his new future. Unexpected tragedy. Black Samson's tragic end at the barbershop. However, it was shocking for fans to see this titular character die in such a terrible way as he did. In the 112th issue of Invincible, we learned about the coup that Robot had planned to take over the world. Understandably, the plan is rather unhinged, and there is a lot that Robot has been doing behind everyone's back. Robot and Black Samson did not get off on the right foot because of Black Samson's disdain for a robot leading a team of superheroes, but over the course of their adventures together, whether it is the TV series or the comic books, they have grown closer. Black Samson starts seeing Robot as a friend. Now, in the issue, we see that Black Samson is leading the simple life of a barber, so we can only assume that he decided to leave his life of glory and suffering to lead a simpler, more peaceful life. But that life ended when the black drone of Robot showed up at the barber. Assuming it is his friend Robot in a new look, Samson mentions how much he likes the new look and gives warm greetings to his friend like one does. But the whole conversation goes in another direction when the black drone blasts him, separating his top and bottom half right then and there. Black Samson ends up dying on the floor of his barbershop, killed by his close friend. This tragic ending of such a nice character took a lot of fans by shock, and we can totally understand why. A closer look at the powers of Black Samson. Now that we know who Black Samson is, it is only fair that we get to know about his powers. Black Samson's character is very driven by his powers. When he does not have them, he is this man with certain behaviors, and when he does have his powers back, he behaves in a different way. Now, surely his powers must be something that is worth having this personality change over, right? Well, you can be the judge of that. Black Samson's main superpower is superhuman strength. When he does not have this power, he is wearing his suit. This suit gives him high endurance, high durability, invulnerability, high reflex, and speed. After he slipped into a coma following the fight he had with Battle Beast, his body rejuvenated his energy cells, bringing back his powers. We get to see him demonstrate his superhuman strength when Omni-Man and Invincible are fighting. We see Black Samson take chunks left by the duo very easily, even though they are extremely huge. In the comic book series, we learned that the energy that Black Samson has can be increased. This temporary boost is not as small as it may sound. This temporary boost is strong enough for Black Samson to defeat Omnipotus, the destroyer of worlds in this universe. However, once the battle is over, Samson is able to return to his normal level of powers, which makes his powers quite handy to have. Now, as a veteran hero, especially one who has spent quite a while without any superpowers, Black Samson had developed another ability that helped him in his superhero quests. That is, his hand-to-hand combat skills. Black Samson is extremely good at hand-to-hand combat, which we get to see in his first appearance, where he faces off against Throwball. With such character arc and story, Black Samson definitely packs a punch. Marvel's verdict. During his introduction, Black Samson may not have seemed so important, as he seems to be just an old hero who is trying to chase his glory days. However, that is not the case. As the series progresses, we get to watch Black Samson grow as a character. He is the strict and experienced father figure of the team who, albeit, likes scolding people and being hard on people in general, especially Rex. He says things that are valid, and he genuinely wants the best for the team. His devotion to his life as a hero is truly something to be inspired by. If you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.